there like that, and then we've got to put a screw underneath just there, and that's going to be a HP screw. So let's get an HP screw. And let's get a screwdriver. The aft deck. So yeah, I brought the aft deck over, which we did over the last few issues, and now what we're going to do is take these 2 pins and put them into these holes here. Simple as that. You can see it moves around shorter than the other, so you can only put them in one way. So if you put them in the other way, there's a gap, don't fit. Ain't that cool? So that's every one like that, and we've got to apply that. Let me just look. That is how it's telling us to apply the crane, guys. It's got to be a certain position, like so. So that's how you want it looking. So you've got these 2 flat pieces facing inwards. But it's saying it's doable. I don't expect nothing less of this build, to be fair. It's been a lot of tough. Hey all, welcome back to the channel, Rich43. Hope you're doing good, guys. Hope you're well. I'm very excited, guys. Here we go again. The Titanic from Hatchetpartworks, issue 129, issue 129, guys. Cannot wait to get back into this, guys. I've got loads, you wouldn't believe, all around the desk here, around the back. I've got mega loads of issues. I've actually got every issue to complete this, and the new, after I think 140 issues, I think it was, where I'm going to be building the bigger version of the engine to the Titanic. I've got all that in my studio here, guys, to get out for you guys. I've just got to keep cracking on and getting these builds done and these videos done for you guys, and then go all the way down the road and get further down the line. I mean, as I say, this is 129. I'm sure I've got issues up to 170 something, so that shows you I've got loads to do, guys. Loads to be getting on with. All my deliveries are here as well. I've still got Dom's Charger, Millennium Falcon. They could be 2 completed models. I've got the DB5, those also, and also I've got my new builds coming to the channel, or at the channel, but one what's not on the channel yet. I've got the Ducati GP23. I keep forgetting it's 23 or 24, but you know what I'm on about, the new Ducati build. And obviously a new build coming soon after this video, a couple after this, some before Christmas. There's going to be the new build to the channel. I've got Darth Vader, I've got the 12 Super from the Fast and Furious, loads going on, guys. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, subscribe, like, also comment and share, press that bell notification. You'll always be notified with whatever I put up on the channel. But without further ado, guys, that was a bit of a gabble of an intro. Let's crack on with Titanic from Hatchetpartworks. Okay, so here we go then, guys. Issue 129 from the Titanic Hatchetpartworks. Okay, so here's the parts. We'll take a look at those in a sec. Let's have a quick look, quick browse for this mag. Now, guys, look how big these magazines are to the new builds I'm doing. God, they're definitely short and smaller than small is that a word? Made the magazine smaller. Right, back to the build anyway. here we go, coming in issue 130. Got all this going on here. We've got brackets, benches, crankbase, bollards. There's loads coming in the next issue, as you can see. There's a zoom in for you. So yeah, look forward to that, guys. That's coming next week, with all being well. Before Christmas we'll have another Titanic build, but yeah, there's a lot of little things going on there, benches, etc. So let's quickly browse through this magazine. Here we go. This is what we've got in today's issue. A lot going on. We've got another crane. Here we go again. So that's what we're going to be doing first. I should be flying through these cranes now. I'm used to it. Wishes. And then we're going to have to fit, I think, by the looks of it, messing with LED lights on the well deck. Is that right, son? Yeah, a quick look. 2 hatches on the, yeah, on the well deck, Jack well deck. I thought that's what it was called. It's been a long time, guys, since I've done this build. A really long time. So yeah, I'm going to be working on the deck, putting the crane, fitting the crane to it. Also messing about with this LED light, whatever we're up to. I think we're just putting a little, whatever that is, a shelter on top of the well deck. And then, which is hard work for me, but good for you, I've got to bring the actual model over to fit some brackets by the looks of it. And that is going to be it, guys. And then that's what we're going to be ending up with. Yeah, we've got to put some little clips on the propeller shaft. I think this is like come further down the line when the build was first done, whether they knew that they needed to put these on. Yep, we've got them there, so we've got to put those on today. And then at the end of today's issue, guys, that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's get the parts over and take a look. Okay, so here's the parts. You never get told when you look at this, guys. Look how they're packed up. Pretty cool. That's all empty, so that's done with. They're just so prestige how they pack the pieces. It's really cool. Right, so yeah, here's a bit of the crane. So yeah, here's another part of the crane. We know these so well now. Let's see what we've got in here. Well, we're ready for Christmas, guys. I'm not. When are we ever ready? Right. So yeah, we've got some more parts of the crane. Always make sure, guys, that you open the packaging like that, in case you've got any little washers or something hiding. You're going to chuck those in the bin, unless you're going to have problems. So right, what we've got here, 129B and C. These are the hatches. So we've got 2 hatches. I'll put those to one side. This is all the crane work, which I think we're going to be starting off with that. So I'm going to leave that here. This looks like a cross support. Yeah. So yeah, that's neck, as you can see, that's a cross support, guys. Again, always make sure that you've emptied your packaging. We've got a selection of screws, AM screws, AP screws, and HP screws. We're going to put those to one side. And then we've just got these 2 envelopes left. Let's have a look what we've got in here. Yeah, the most hard work I've got today is to move the ship over here, the model, to bring it to the desk. Because if you see the intro, guys, and the outro, you can see it's surrounded by a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's all good fun, but I have to move all that to get the model to the desk. So here we've got 129N, P and Q, which are, let me just look on here, and P and Q, it's the tie rods basically. That's what those are, 3 different tie rods for the crane. And last but not least, oh yeah, these are going to be for the propeller shaft. So these are down as 129R. These are the propeller shaft clips, and there's 1 spare, so we've got 2 and obviously 1 spare. So I'm going to organise myself, get this crane and the pieces where they need to be, and I'm going to get building, guys, with instruction 1. Okay, for instruction 1 then, what we're going to do is take this wire, this here 129N, which is the crane cable. We've got to apply that to 129G, which is this piece here, guys. So I'm going to leave it on the desk because it's a lot easier to do. And what I'm going to do is place that over that circular hole there, and leave it on your desk and let that little hook be pointing towards you as you're looking at it. And then we're going to take this part 129J. You've got like a little pin there, and that needs to be pushed into the hole like so. You heard that click, and you want that little pin to be facing as you're looking at it to the left. So it'll be your right now, but you want it pointing that way as you're looking at it. And this is all instruction 1, by the way, guys. Then we take this piece here, another plastic piece, which is 129F, and this is the crane motor. And then what we want to do is basically, we've got to attach this. You've got 3 holes here, so that's a good way to follow where you've got to put it. With that pin going in that top hole, and the others, etc., going where they've got to go into the other holes. So you're careful, just line those up, and when you're happy, push those together like so. They should go together pretty flush, guys, so they're not going to come apart. You shouldn't have a gap like that, so you're going to have to give it a good push. I don't know if you heard that on video, but they do click once you've pushed them together, and that's how that's looking so far at the end of instruction 1. Now, guys, I was just explaining what you open your packaging. These 2 little fellas here, I nearly lost. I was looking for them, and I've gone through my brown bags, which I showed you at the beginning of this build. They was there, so it's easy done, guys. And I like to call that I'm a bit not professional, but used to doing this build now, and I've still mislaid them. So please be careful, guys. If you're doing this build, just double check your bags before you go into your build and chuck them in the bin. Please check them out, because you will lose them. These little pieces are very small. I think you can see that on camera. That's my fingernail, and look how small they are to that. Even my little finger, they're still pretty cool and small, you know. That's what I'm saying. Look at that, very tiny. Right, so we're on instruction 2 now. What we're going to do is we're joining these pieces together like so. And what you have to do here is, when you're putting these pins in, guys, apply the smooth side first, and obviously that'll go in easier. And then as it's gone right through to the other side, it will obviously lock it into place where it needs to be. Just be careful, have a mindset that you've got to be just careful here, because these plastic pieces are very, very flimsy. And if you put too much pressure on them, you're going to break them, and I have done that before. I think that was one of the first times that I did a crane, and it was just a disaster. So just be very careful, guys. Just take your time with it. See, they do go through. And what you might find is, if you push it through just slightly, it'd be a lot easier to get through to the other piece of the model. So we'll line them up again. It's all about just taking your time, guys. That's all it is. There we go, it's gone through. And what you need to do here is make sure it is all lined up before putting some pressure to the pin. And when it's lined up, carefully use your tweezers and apply some pressure, and it should go through to the other side. Forgetting I've got these pliers, I'm going to use these, but these are very useful but powerful, so just be careful, because you can damage. But these are given to you in the model a few issues back, guys, when you start doing things like this. Pretty cool. So they are for the job. You've got a bit of discretion how much pressure you put on these pins. If you don't want to damage, there you go. That's as simple as that when you're using these. See, so that's gone in pretty cool, pretty easy. That's where we're looking so far. To be fair, you might not think that was the easy bit. Apply a little bit more pressure so I know that's on. Yeah, it's cool. What I do is I put that in last, the crane cable, this piece here. So again, this is a bit fiddly. What you want to do is have the hook so it's facing outwards, and you've got to put that in there along with the washer closest to you, and we've got to use the smaller of the pins. Again, be careful not to flick these across the room. I've done that before. So carefully just start that off into that left part without breaking the boom of the crane. Just take your time. I mean, you might be saying, why don't you just push it on the desk? But if you do, you've got a chance of breaking these two pieces of plastic, and you don't want to be doing that, guys. So I'm just trying to give that a head start in there. So delicate these pieces are, guys, but it's good fun. It's all part of doing the build. You're taking a deep breath there. So that's gone through now. Push that back a slight little bit. There we go, that should be enough. Now I'm going to apply the washer. There's always a scary thought when you're doing this, guys, that something's going to damage. And I have done it before, as I say. I've been there, done that. You've just got to try and be confident, relax, and hopefully it'll all go to plan. Right, so hook's facing that way. What I'm going to do is apply that there. And I think now you can see why I'm doing these two bits, and then once I've got the pin through, I will apply that piece then to the pin. Very fiddly, guys, and very time consuming, even when you get used to doing these cranes. But just don't put a lot of pressure on these pins till you know you've got them all lined up, your washer and the hook. I'm sure that has done that, thank God. Have I? Yeah, brilliant. So you can see that's bent a little bit, but we'll manage to salvage it, I think. But that's how difficult this is, guys. You cannot help sometimes damage pieces on this build because they're that delicate. But we'll get away with that. I think that's going to be fine. You can see, be careful, please be careful, because that is all bent now. But we'll get away with that, it still does the job. And now what we're going to do is apply this piece in between that washer and that hook we've just applied to that piece, the crane boom there. Carefully push that in between them both, like so. Yeah, if this is your first build, good luck. But you can do it. Of course you can do it. Staying with the instruction 3, we now need to take these tie rods. Now with these guys, you've basically got that ring there, and you need to look at this. I know it's hard to see on camera, there's like a little right angle. Now if you think about it, by putting it over this pin here, you want to be able to have that tie rod the right angle pointing inwards, because it's going to be going to that piece there. So what we'll do is we'll apply this over this pin. Yeah, it just gets more difficult as you go along with these cranes, guys. But because I've done them a few times, I'm starting to get the, dare I say it, a little bit of a knack to it. It says as it comes off. I thought the windows was bad, guys, but these cranes are very, very fiddly. There we go. So I do try and be chilled, guys, but yeah, that does get you in a moment if you're not careful. So just getting some glue. So yeah, this is all still part of instruction 3. What we need to do now is apply a little bit of glue just to the end of this tie rod. There we go, does it want to come out? There we go, here we go. And then basically, you ain't going to see this on camera, but there's a little hole there. Got to put that in there, like so. And now we get the second tie rod. Making sure that right angle is pointing inwards before applying it to the crane. And when you're happy, what you might be finding useful if you lie on the desk, guys, like that. It's very hard because you've got to push onto this and you want to hold the tie rod, but at the same time you've got to hold the rest of the crane, because if not it just pings off. Yeah, so far I think this is the most, not difficulty, but the fiddliest bit of the build, to be fair. I don't like doing these. I think you can tell that I do not like doing the cranes. Not one bit. To be honest, the last crane I did wasn't too bad. What you might find useful as well, guys, which I'm using at the minute, is magnifying glasses. I call them my dot glasses. I've got Back to the Future. Although he has magnifying glasses, but I just look like an important person wearing them. Right, so look, we've got to get this in here now. Yeah, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done in the build. Talk about very fiddly. But yeah, that's how that's looking. And they are meant to be a bit buried like that. I've just looked at the instructions, I said that, and yeah, I'm wondering why they're like that, but they are meant to be like that. Whether that's to show that there's some weight on the crane, give it that realistic look, I don't know. Way we got them done. So that's how we're looking at the end of instruction 3. Now we're going to move on to instruction 4. I'm going to take my dot glasses off and bring the base of the crane over. Now what we do here, guys, is just basically pop that on there like that. And then we've got to screw a HP screw just underneath. So there's the HP screws, there we go. So yeah, I've put that HP screw just underneath there, and what we're going to do now is screw that in nice and tight. And next, for instruction 6, we have got to apply 2 hatches. Now this is pretty cool, guys. These pins here, one shorter than the other, so you can only put them in one way. So if you put them in the other way, there's a gap, don't fit. Ain't that cool? So that's how we want them, like that. And we've got to apply those to the deck with 2 AP screws. So let me just get my AP screws ready. There we go. And obviously we need 4, 2 for each hatch. So I'll just get those out of my little bag. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll take that one off because it's going to end up dropping off. I've got to just flip it over. Just apply these screws into here. Just being careful, guys, not to damage any of your crane work you've done on the other side. There we go, that's that one done. So yeah, I'm just going to start them off and then I'll tighten them up in a minute once we've put, I think, all 4. I'm going to apply all 4 and then just tie them all up together. So that's those 2 in. Again, you can see that's nice and flush, so you know you've got it the right way around. It's very easy to just think just to lay it on your desk and get these put in, but as I say, be careful because you're going to damage your cranes on the other side if you do that. So you might have to just hold it and hover it. I mean, if you rest it on there, it's not going to do nothing, but just don't push on it with your pressure, your weight once you're putting the screws in. So that's those started off. Just going to get me the screwdriver, get these tightened up. Now that's that done. That's that one done. And last one. Cool. That takes us to the end of instruction 6, and that's how that's looking. Pretty cool. So let's move on to the next instruction. Now for instruction 7. we're applying another crane. So let me just look. That is how it's telling us to apply the crane, guys. It's got to be a certain position, like so. So that's how you want it looking. So you've got these two flat pieces facing inwards, and on the top these are barrels, obviously, but that's how they want it looking, guys. So that's how I've done it. And now again, we'll get 2 AP screws and get that crane attached to the well deck. Again, just be careful how you do it. Me personally, I'll just hold it in my hand and hover it, as you don't want to damaging any of the cranes. By all means, just place it like that, but I wouldn't put pressure, as I said earlier on, when screwing the screws in. Hover it along with your hands on your desk, and then you shouldn't have any problems, guys. Alright, so I'm just going to get this tightened up, then we'll move on to instruction 8. So that's where we're looking now, guys, at the end of instruction 7. What I'm going to do is move this to one side now, because I'm going to bring the massive model over to apply a support beam, which is 129A. But that's how we're looking. Got all the cranes working. Pretty cool. But as you can see, guys, there's still loads of stuff to put on these decks. It's such a massive build, guys, but it's amazing. It's a pretty cool build. But yeah, we're going to get the model down and we'll crack on with instruction 8. Okay, so I've got it down. I'm going to take this support beam, carefully just push it over there like so, and then get 4 AM screws. Get that screwed in. Oh guys, that was hard work getting this off the shelf. I had to move the Ninja H2. Watch my Elvis glasses, that I don't break them, knock them off, which was £200. Which, if you watch the video to that, guys, you'll see what I brought at the Elvis Evolution tour. So yeah, that was very stressful, but it's got to be done. Got to get this build done. So just put a bit of pressure, tighten these 4 screws, these 4 AM screws, so that's nice and tight, and that is it. That support beam is now fitted. Now we're going to move on to instruction 9. Okay, so the last instruction of the day. This is going to be the most, we'll see, could be the hardest thing I've done this build. This has got to go on to the propeller shaft. Now if I just carefully lift that up, it's basically here, guys. You've got the propeller here, and then there's a little gap which is the equivalent to that, and we're going to put that on the propeller shaft. So I'm going to just carefully push that down there like so. If it works right, which it hasn't, if I can get that onto that propeller shaft where it's meant to be, all I've got to do is push that U shape on to the propeller, which is probably going to be easy said than done, but we'll get there. I'm going to do it, guys. I'm going to do it. But I will show you this anyway. If you can't see what I'm doing, I will show you at the end of the video, obviously, of the outcome. Now I know why they give you 2, because they ping off and you can't find them. Where's that gone now? God. I have got a spare one, but if worst case I can't get this one and this pings off, I'm going to have to tip it upside down to get it put on. This is absolute bonkers, to be fair. Now, I ain't got a clue why I've got to do this. Whether it's to give it more structure, I don't know. But it's saying it's doable. I don't expect nothing less of this build, to be fair. It's been a lot of tough things to do, but that's gone on. Brilliant. Right, I've done it. That's been pushed on. So stay tuned to the end, guys. What I'll do is show you the close-up of that, what I've just done, because this beam's blocking it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's exactly what I've had to put in, that little clip down there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. And that is it, guys, for this long awaited issue. It's been an age. It's been over a month since I've done the Titanic, and guys, please stick with me. I'm trying to get some consistency here of putting a video out every day or out every other day and get through these models enjoyably, but just getting them done. Today was a pretty cool issue. Again, we've done another crane. I'm getting into these cranes now, as there's been many of them, and that was put to the well deck. And we've also been working on the propeller shaft, putting those little clips, etc., which is helping make that mechanism work even better. If you want to get this for yourself, I'm not sure if you can still get it, but go over to Hatchetpartworks and see if it's still available, and come along, guys, and get building this massive, as you can see here, Titanic model. It's huge. This might be being pushed down in the future, but I'm still going to have it poking on the screen there because it's one of my biggest builds I've done and one of the coolest builds I've done. All my builds are cool, but I do really have an art for this thing. It's a soft spot for this thing. It's massive. And when this is done, guys, it's going to have steam coming out the chimneys, etc., moving propellers. It's going to be pretty cool, so stay for that, and obviously subscribe for that. Press that bell notification. You'll always be notified when I get to the end of this build or any of my other builds. But that is it for now, guys. Remember to give us a big like. We'd really appreciate that. And again, if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button, press the bell notification, and you'll never miss a thing. But for now, take care, and I'll see you soon. See ya. Peace.